If you are under the impression that you need to eat protein to build muscle, well, then you're correct. Protein is made up of branched chain amino acids which work in your body to build and repair your muscles. But can getting enough protein be tough? I think it can be for people who work out and have an active lifestyle. Most people get enough for their basic needs, but if you're working out hard, you might need a little more than the average person. In this video, we will cover the lowest end of the protein spectrum you can consume and still get muscular benefits and gains to strengthen your muscles. As always, if you are new, please subscribe, or if you're returning, please turn on notifications. We do a new video each and every single week. Let us know if this is the kind of topic you want to hear about, or what other topics you want to hear about. Leave comments filling us in. Stick around to the end, where I will dive into one surprising finding about the upper end of protein. While protein is a buzzword and seems that every supplement company wants to sell you something, protein truly is important. Whether you are into overall health and wellness, bodybuilding, or endurance training alike, it is essential to maintain a healthy, recovered, uninjured body. Protein is the literal building blocks to our muscles. So while there is more to focus on than just protein alone, it is good to be aware of how much you get in with what you eat regularly. I think that currently people focus on protein content when buying food, and it's a bit of a fad with plenty of publicity. However, with that being said, it's a fad that's also important, as a high protein diet will help your overall health. It can help whether you're looking to build muscle or lose weight, as your body needs it, and it helps to keep you full. Now, let's dive into the research and scientific literature. I've done the research so you don't have to comb through tons of studies. The research shows that muscle protein indeed breaks down the body. You have to consume protein not only to build new muscle, but just to maintain and repair regular life wear and tear. It's been shown that generally to maximize muscle growth, you want to get about 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram that you weigh. Everyone is trying to maximize either muscle size, recovery, or have less soreness, so this is a good number to just keep in mind. However, I am well aware that this is easier said than done for many individuals. It can be hard in normal day-to-day life to get that much protein from a normal diet. You might be interested to know how little or what is the least amount of protein you can have to still gain muscle or still feel okay. So, what is the least amount of protein you can have and still build muscle? It appears the magic amount to have on the low end is 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight that you weigh. This is roughly equivalent to between 2.5 to 3 chicken breasts for the average sized man, or a little less for a woman. This is likely a good amount to have a small amount of muscle growth. It may not be optimal, but it is more on the end of the bare minimum. The other caveat is that you can't just eat protein and fuel your muscles. You have to incorporate some resistance training into your weekly routine. If you feel like you've gotten value, please share this content and subscribe to our channel. It helps us so much. Let us know what other topics you want to hear more about as well. Now, remember, the resistance training or weightlifting is what stimulates the muscle protein synthesis. It is just as important as the protein itself in the process as it is the catalyst to everything else. To have max muscle hypertrophy, you will leave a lot of progress on the table if you just worry about protein and don't get in the best training. Either way, try to get your strength training in every week and get a good amount of protein to maximize recovery. If you put protein first in the order of what you eat, you will feel more full, and then you can backfill as needed. Now, with all that being said, the least amount of protein I would recommend for most people is at least 1 gram of protein per kilogram of what you weigh. To clarify, this is the lower limit. Also, full transparency, there's no research showing this exact number. This is just what I would recommend. I've experimented with my own body and with different amounts with different clients and found this is where most people need to be at a baseline level. Most research on what people are looking into is the most amount, and they don't look into as much the least amount. This is why there's a lack of research on the lower amount needed for those who are active. However, there is some research on the dose-response relationship between protein and muscle growth. This research is what helped me to come up with the lower recommended dose minimum. So you know it's not completely random. I didn't just pull it out of thin air. The research that is out there has shown significant statistical findings pertaining to muscle growth. Some data has shown growth at lower amounts, but in my opinion, not enough data or evidence to personally recommend anything less than this roughly about 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. Even this is on the low end for me. Now, a couple more qualifying factors to cover. Most research done is on fairly young male adults. If you are older than a young adult, you probably will have a higher minimum protein requirement or higher protein need in general. In particular, older adults over 65 years of age should aim for 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. The reason is you don't absorb protein quite as well as you age, more prone to fractures or falls, and you need a little more to combat muscle loss. Also, while it is probably similar in women, we do not know for sure. In addition, those who are well-trained and muscular have a higher protein need to maintain mass. Basically, the more muscle you have, the less you can get away with less protein. Overall, when addressing those of you who lift weights and are active, working out, and in shape, I still recommend at least 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. You can adjust here and there as needed based on how you feel. In fact, those who endurance train or lift weights almost every day could be more in the range of 1.2 to up to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. I only bring up this lower limit talked about in this video so when life happens, you're traveling, or don't have much fuel, you won't lose all your muscle right away and can still feel okay. On the harder days, you don't give up. You still try to hit your minimums and maintain progress. This is still a range and you may be on the upper or lower end of the recommended amount. Everybody's body is different, works differently, and the main thing is just to remain active, lift weights regularly, and eat lean proteins as needed to help your body recover. Don't worry, if you're consistent, you're still going to gain muscle. Those who are physically active probably need more protein. According to a recent statement and information from the American College of Sports Medicine and the Academy of Nutrition and Dietitians, they found that and recommended that those who are physically active consume up to that almost 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or the equivalent of 0.5 to 0.9 grams per pound of weight. Personally, I'm around 200 pounds, and I try to get about 200 grams of protein, so I'm on the higher end of even what they recommend at times, but I need this for strength with resistance training sessions. This is just what works for me. I'm not recommending it for every single person. It has taken years of trial and error to get to this point. They also recommend this amount of protein, irregardless of someone's primary, if they strength train, if they do endurance training, either way, protein is essential in the same amounts. There are always different factors at play, so if you're on the lower or upper end of the limit, this can depend on how intensely you're working out, how many calories you're sticking to, and your regular diet. Further, the third thing they recommend is that those that train have at least 0.3 grams of protein per kilogram of weight no longer than 2 hours after working out to increase, speed up, and start that muscle recovery process. So don't forget that timing is also a crucial part to speeding up your recovery and maintaining muscle. Additional research highlights and shows the importance of protein with resistance training. A meta-analysis I looked into from 2022 looked into 70 different studies. The overall study, looking at these different studies, found the importance of a fairly high protein diet. The research supported 1.5 grams per kilogram or 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight, seeming to improve strength when combined with a good weightlifting routine. The point being made is that protein consumption alone is not enough. Muscle mass is not simply tied to protein intake, but your body repairing and working synergistically when worked out appropriately with weights. If you're really trying to build muscle and maximize your muscle growth, you need to increase the intensity of your workout. For example, heavier weights, higher reps, or possibly a circuit training to increase your workout capacity. A novel stimulus doing something new makes a difference. So if you're used to circuits, try slowing things down. If you're used to lifting heavier weights, maybe speed things up. Try to keep your body guessing. So this in combination with a healthy diet and adequate sleep will help you get the best results. Another study from 2022 looked into about 5,000 adults aged 60 and older. They looked at lower levels needed to maintain muscle. They found that men needed 78 grams of protein and women needed 68 grams of protein to adequately protect against muscle loss. This was broken up in smaller meals throughout the day, so no one meal over 20 grams of protein, and this was effective. While this shows a good lower limit, I'm sure that more protein is definitely beneficial to those who are active. On the other end of things, a meta-analysis from 2020 looked at the opposite side of things. So we've been talking about lower end of protein most of this video. This will kind of look at the other side of things. It was a randomized control trial that looked at upping protein beyond what had previously been looked into. This looked at having more than 3.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight over several meals to maintain or add muscle. They found that by upping protein to this higher level, they saw people increase lean muscle mass. So while we see a lower limit can be maintained, this higher amount could help speed up or help faster muscle growth for some people. Either way, the point is getting enough protein in combination with a healthy lifestyle is important. While protein is the most important thing in my mind to maintain muscle, it's also the focus of many advertising and health influencers out there, but it really is truly important to muscle recovery. I hope you know now that an effective lower limit can help, and also a healthy range to keep you in good health, increase muscle protein synthesis and recovery. If you feel like you've gotten value, please share this content and subscribe to our channel. It helps us so much. Let us know if this topic is applicable or what other topics you would like to hear more about. Leave comments below. We're always trying to bring practical advice to everyday people.